This that
Red Panda Anthem.
Ian, what's up?
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Red Panda, what's good?
Red Panda Anthem.
You know, I met Don Peoples 15 years ago, and I read his book. And he was coming to New York, and he was doing something. And at the time, I was just starting out as a financial advisor. I was probably like 20-something years old. And I was in Manhattan. I went, and he spoke, and I waited afterwards. And I introduced myself to him. I told him, you know, I read your book, I'm a big fan of everything that you have. And he was like, you know, just keep working. And that's what I did. And then the next time that we meet him, now it's a whole different situation. Because now we actually have real value to bring to the situation. So now we're prepared to take advantage of it. And I always tell people, it's like at some point in time, you're going to meet somebody that can change your life.
Yep.
The thing about it is, most of the time, you're not ready. So when you meet Jay-Z, when you meet Don Peoples, what you're going to do is ask for a picture. You're going to ask for a picture.
Mm-hmm. Mistake.
And it's like, because at that moment, that's the only thing that you can really conjure in your brain, right? I guarantee you at some point in time, you're going to meet somebody that can change your life.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not ready, then that's on you.
Yep.
Because you haven't put yourself in a position to add value. So from the time that I met Don Peoples to the next time that I met him 15 years later, I worked every single day for 15 years. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, but I knew at some point I was going to be in a position to add value. And the next time I met him, it was a completely different conversation. Because now I'm not just asking for a picture. I'm not just saying, hey, I like your book. Now we have a whole media empire that is behind us. So now he sees the value. Now the conversation is, how can we work together? How can we collaborate? Right? That's not done by accident. So this, like I said, this goes back to this dinner situation. Of course, the situation that we're in right now in life is a lot different than most, but that's because we worked our whole life to get here. So we worked our whole life. So now we have enough value add that anybody that we sit down with is going to be a productive conversation. So just keep that in mind, because it's like relationships ultimately are more valuable than money. And this goes back to even the Michael Roberts. If you don't know who Michael Roberts Sr. is, you should look him up.
Google him.
Guy's worth over probably 500 million, close to $1 billion. Who's counting? Black billionaire. So took 3 companies public. Telecommunications.
Say that part again.
He took 3 companies public. But it's like, you know, these are the type of people that you want to network with, right? But the only way you're going to be able to network with them is if you're just as valuable as they are. That's the part that nobody tells you. Networking is not just get in a room and just be in a room. Networking is get in a room, but you have to add value to be in the room. Getting in the room is only half the battle. Then you'll just be in the room. There's a lot of people just in the room, and people are saying, "Why are you here?" But it's like, now, if you have enough value to bring, then you understand that your resources, your network is much more valuable than money. And the last thing I'll say about this is, shout out to Derek Falcon. He had said something a while ago, and he was like, you know, when you talk about middle class, you talk about poor people. When people say, okay, I'm going to fall off, when you think about falling off, right? What's your first thought? If you lose everything today, what's your first thought? I'm going to hustle. I'm going to get it back. I'm going to go back on the grind. He said, no, rich people, how I'm thinking, right? Like, my first thought is, I'm going to call my friends. And it's like, they're going to help me. And that's the whole point of cultivating relationships, right? And I thought about it. I'm like, damn, you're right. You're really right.
That's real.
And that's what I'm going to do. Like, God forbid, if everything falls apart today, I feel like I have enough resources where I'm going to call some people. I'm not even going to call them to ask them. It's not about asking them for money, but it's to ask, it's going, yo, I need to get put back in position.
The real one's going to send it right away too.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, I'm not even going to ask. I'm going to ask to get put back in position. Yo, I need this. I need you to introduce me to this person. I need this. I need to be on your show. I need to do this. I need to do that. Like, and they're probably going to say, yeah, because I've helped them.
The way you treated them on the way
You know
up.
what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the difference. It's like, who do you have to call on, right? That's your network. That's why I say relationships worth more than money, because ultimately money goes up, it goes down. It's something that, you know, is a byproduct of what you built, but relationships are here forever. And you really can't even put a value on that. You can't put a value on having Don Peoples on speed dial. You really can't. Like, what's the price? What's the price point that it is to have a personal relationship with Robert Smith? Is it worth 1 million? Is it worth 10 million? I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you even measure
You
that?
can't
with money?
quantify it.
Mhm.
Because you don't know how much
Yeah.
money can actually come from that. Like, how much money can come from Steve Harvey having a relationship with him, right? Like, these are things that you have to understand. So, all of that to say, Don Peebles, a gentleman and a scholar, but I just really want to hammer that in because it's like we can talk about our takeaways, but I guarantee you, you're going to meet somebody that's going to be able to change your life. I guarantee you. If you live in LA, you're going to run across somebody. Just wait on
Every day
just wait in the Beverly Center.
at
Just,
Starbucks.
yeah, just
Go to lunch on Sunset.
just be on Sunset.
It's
at
gonna
some
happen.
point. You're gonna run into Stevie Wonder. Like, it's gonna happen for you. You're gonna run into Tyler Perry. Like, just wait.
Yeah.
If you live in LA, just wait outside. Like, I'm being honest. If you live in New York, just like LA, Atlanta. If you don't live in those places, go to those places and just wait.
Yeah,
Like, you're gonna
and just
at
sitting
some point in time, you're going to meet somebody, or you could be intentional like me. When I was intentional about meeting Don Peebles, I went and I met him. I didn't have enough to offer him at that time. But if I had enough to offer him at that time, I might have changed my life 15 years ago.
True.
So it's like,
Yeah.
I guarantee you at some point in time, you're going to meet somebody that can change your life. Are you prepared? If you're not
Let me
prepared,
ask you guys.
if you're not prepared, start preparing yourself. Day in, and night. And when the time comes, take advantage of it.
Every moment prepares you for the next one. It's a fact.
Absolutely.
Every moment. We never skipped any steps. No steps were skipped. No battles were not fought. Like, we grinded, literally grinded for years. I remember conversations we used to have before we started teaching, before you were a financial advisor. We were sitting in the car like, yo, what are we going to do? All right, this is my plan. This is your plan. All right, let's go after it.
Let's get to
Let's
it.
go like fearlessly. Let's just go after it. Let's create this business after that. Let's see if this works. It didn't work. All right, well, what do we learn from it? All right, let's attack the next thing. We didn't skip any steps. That's why I always tell people, they're like, yo, man, this happened so fast. 5 years, 4 years. And I'm like, nah, bro, like, we was really in a band room. 97 degrees, like people on vacation in Costa Rica. You know what I'm saying? Spending 2 months of their summer just on vacation. We were teenagers in a band room with cafeteria tables, just getting to it and really just trying to
Into it,
encourage
yeah.
them and help them learn.
You,
It's a fact, man.
You know what's one of the best stories of that? Big Sean. Big Sean. If anybody doesn't know Big Sean's story, so how he got
Stood
on
outside.
is when,
Yeah.
Kanye West was in Detroit for a radio run. He went to the radio station, and Big Sean, he knew he was coming to the radio station. He stayed outside the radio station, and he saw him walking. He's like, "Yo, I can rap." I'm sure that happens every single day, all day, right? He's like, "I can rap. I got bars." So Ye like, "All right, rap." And as he's walking, Ye's still walking, like, "All right, rap for me." And he said he rapped for 10 minutes straight. And at the end of it, he's like, "All right, what's your information?" And then the rest is history. The bottom line is that how long you
Gotta be
think it
prepared.
took him to prepare himself for that moment? He didn't know exactly when that moment was going to happen.
Mhm.
He didn't know when it was going to happen. He didn't even probably know
Yeah.
who it was going to be. It could have been Jay-Z. It could have
50 at the
it
time.
probably could have been anybody.
Yep.
But he was preparing himself for years, not
Yep.
only just from a talent standpoint, but from a psychological standpoint as well, because it's how many people are going to have enough courage to do that.
Yo,
That's another thing.
Maybe
like, you know what I'm
10%.
saying?
you only get one
How
shot.
many people
You
gonna
got to
have
go
enough
after it.
That's and from Detroit. Like, you only get one shot. Don't miss your chance to blow. Like, that's the microcosm. Like, if we had to paraphrase this, do not miss your shot.
It's going to happen.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Don't miss your shot.
It's
How-
going to happen.
How many people do you know actually work 7 days a week? Even when they sit, we're in bungalow, everybody's sending texts, trying to get deals done.
That's a fact.
How many people do you see actually working 7 days a week?
The entrepreneurs. Because when you're an entrepreneur, there's no days off. So the entrepreneurs is working 7 days a week, but I feel that
Even out of them, how many?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
When the opportunity is there, and people can feel when you're prepared.
Mm-hmm.
People can feel it. Like, even when last time Peter called me, he like, "Hey, I need you to come to the exchange." I'm like, "Bro, I don't feel like going. I'm tired. Go." People from Citadel, JP Morgan, like, you have to be. Then I'm talking to the market maker who trades the most amount of shares for Exxon, and I'm telling them where I would get in. I'm not qualified technically to have a conversation, but me not missing any days in the market made me really confident. Me and Ross Mack was just there chopping it up, and he's talking about what he did at Morgan Stanley. Amazing interview, by the way. And the black box trading and like you have to stay on your ish. Every shout out to my brother Ish. Ish said he want to come on and debate too, by the way. So we got to set that up. But I tell him like, but even for the 500 is not a lot. You you get a car, jury, put away some tuition, taxes. 500 be gone in a year.
Less, bro.
Got to have a real conversation about like what it really takes to keep. And I know my $28 million number sounded crazy a couple years ago. You can blow through 500,000 in LA or New York or New Jersey. Shout out to Jersey. In a year, getting a house and a car and tuition and taking care of your kids the way they should be taken care of. You got to set the bar higher.
And also this next time, take next time out of your vocabulary. Take next time out of your vocabulary, because it's like that one of the biggest crutches and the scapegoats that people use. They're like, oh, I'm doing next time. I'm going next time. I'm see him next time. Like, I remember that. I'll tell you a story. Like, that's what happened when we met Jay Prince in Houston. And the girl was telling me, she was like, now it's not a good time. It's the only time.
Yeah, we got to make shit happen.
It's the only time. How are you going to tell me it's not a good time when he's here? And this is the only time.
Going back to courage.
No, that's a valuable lesson.
What are we talking about?
We're not gonna get another chance. We got to maximize this opportunity because we're not guaranteed that.
Right now,
that was a lesson. Again, some of these things we learned, like and shout out to Biggs. You know, like I'm a big Rockefeller guy. We had an opportunity to interview him in our first year of doing Earn Your Leisure, and I was like, you know what? He's coming to New York. We'll do it when he gets there. I didn't seize that moment.
4 years later.
4 years later, we still haven't sat down with Biggs. And no disrespect to him. And, you know, we've met him a few times. It just hasn't happened. But I realized in that moment, that will never happen again. When we have an opportunity to do something, we're doing it. We're doing it.
You're doing it right there.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Yep. Even when they came to town, they're like, hey, we're going to be here. I just had picked up Xander. I'm like, Xander, go to bed, bro. Sorry. I don't never pop out on a Thursday. I'm like, yo, I'm on the way. You can't like, and you have to show up so people can feel your energy. Shout out to like Jonathan. Shout out to him. Shout out to JR. They like, I've been following you for a minute, but it's different when a person can be around your energy and also see that you're solid and you move with character. One thing, I came and introduced myself to everybody. Like, these are small things that people are going to see, but you have to show up and be there in person. I know social is amazing. People can't feel your character on social media.
And they're going to stop. As soon as you walk in, and shout out to Larry again, but you walked in, people are stopping you because it's like, yo, you're here in real life. I got to stop you to tell you how much I've learned, how much you've helped me. Can we take a picture in the middle of a nightclub? You know, pineapple juice was in the air. But we got to stop because, yo, it doesn't matter the environment. We're in this environment together. We're one of the people. We with the people. Of course, we're going to stop and have a conversation. That's somebody was saying that to me. My man Mario, shout out to Mario, Believe 313. Shout out to him. Yeah. He was like, yo, I've been around y'all a few times. One thing I noticed, y'all never say no. Like, it doesn't matter how much times people want to take a picture or they want to pick your brain, y'all always open to the conversation. I'm like, yeah, because this opportunity, this is somebody's, this is my one time. And I understand that.
Facts.
I understand it. I didn't always
when
understand
that girl grabbed us, man.
Yeah, it's like,
so excited.
This is the one moment. Let me tell you about this business I have. And it's like, I want to be gracious and precious with the time that they have because I know it takes courage. I met a young lady at this gala and she was almost in tears. I'm like, you're good. We're going to have a conversation. I'm going to walk you through this. This doesn't even have to be a nervous interaction. Tell me about what you're doing. And for 20 minutes, we talked about it. And I said, you know what? Everything that we just talked about, I want you to walk in the room and I want you to just use it. And let's see what happens tonight.
And sometimes people are ready. Sometimes they are ready. That's another thing, too. You got to listen. You got to listen.
That is true.
If you don't listen, you could actually miss out on your opportunity. It's not always the other person's opportunity. Sometimes it's your opportunity as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they actually do have $1 billion idea.
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Ian, what's up?
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Red Panda, what's good?
Red Panda Anthem.
Your
Whole
boy.
clip going up. I know they can't stand